Welcome back to week 2 of Perrine Party of Two.
We are your co-hosts. I'm Shauna Perrine.
And I am Chris Perrine.
And we welcome you back. A lot has happened since our last episode, which came out. You guys all got to hear it on June 4th. So,
which is crazy.
Something that we realized when we were just looking at the schedule of how we wanted to put the podcast out, that's kind of what we've been doing a lot of lately, is editing, scheduling, using different platforms like YouTube, and what was the one we decided to go with for distribution?
Just Spotify Creator right now. The first one you heard was June 4th, which was the day that Shauna and I started dating. The day that we made it official.
We defined the relationship.
DTR, yep.
On June 4th, 2023. So,
dang.
It's also my grandfather's birthday. So easy
I didn't
to
know
remember.
that
Yeah.
when we started out.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we didn't necessarily know that when we...
Sorry to steal your thunder, Grandpa.
Right.
It's our day now.
It's not something you plan. We just kind of decided to start dating. So that, I feel like, is a whole story for a different episode. But today we wanted to share with you guys how we started dating, and then how many days later?
Maybe, 2-3 days later, you were moving back to Washington State, not D.C.?
Yeah. I was out in Nashville for work, kind of off and on, didn't really live anywhere. And I was just deciding, hey, I'm going to go back to Washington State. I didn't lived in Washington since I was 21, but just coming back to stay with my parents for a while. But then I met Chris. It was interesting that we met in May, started dating in June, and then I was like, I'm leaving.
Adios.
I already had my tickets
go.
booked. My grandparents were having their 60th wedding anniversary, and so I was like, I knew I wanted to be back for that, and so I already had my date set and everything, but so there was no changing that, but we jumped right into long distance.
Didn't let that stop us.
Dating, yeah. Why don't you share how that conversation went, because we both were we were at Red Door. If you live in Nashville, you might know our friend had a release show. You were playing at Live Oak, and it was the first time I got to hear him play, sing, and all of that. And then we went to Red Door, as everybody does in Nashville after a release show.
It's common to end up
there. It's
there.
very common, yeah.
I just remember we were having this conversation and kind of talking about what we wanted from this and where we saw this going, and bouncing around the idea of long distance. And at least for me, I had done long distance once in college, and it's not fun. It's not the most the ideal way to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
But I remember dating long distance in college and thinking that, okay, if I can make this work with the wrong person, then I can for sure make this work with the right person. So that wasn't really a roadblock for me. And then the other thing was, I don't know whether or not this will work out long distance, but I know that for me personally, I will regret not at least trying to see where this could go. And if this could be something, I know I could see myself 6 months down the road thinking man, I wish I would have just given it a shot. And I wonder if that could have been something great. I should have tried. And so I'm more of I would rather try and fail than ask myself later down the road why I didn't try.
That's a great quality. We were literally just talking about that the other day with a couple friends, and one of the friends said, that would have scarred me, having a bad experience. I think you were brave to go into something that you already had not a bad experience, but wasn't the best experience, and it wasn't something that lasted, and still saying, okay, yeah, that didn't work, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So good on you for that.
Thank you.
I remember telling you on our first date that I was not good with long distance, because I just wanted to be clear, and that wasn't my strength. This is what you're getting into
She was way better at it than me. She's just being humble.
No. But I always felt like, because I traveled so much, that I was always good at being present where I was, where my feet were on the ground. And I wasn't always really good at staying in touch with people. I just feel like I knew people all over the place. So, yeah, our first date, you didn't know that I didn't live here, and I broke that ice of, okay, I don't live here, and I'm leaving in a few weeks or so. And it probably in the same breath was and I'm really horrible at long distance. I don't do well with that. So just heads up. but we still went for it. So
So if there's something that you're hesitant on and you're second guessing yourself, just risk it. Risk it for the brisket.
risk it for the brisket.
We've been living our life motto by this year is risk it for the brisket.
Yeah, we love brisket. So we were like, let's change this name. What is it? Usually
Risk it for the biscuit.
Biscuit, yeah. Biscuits are okay, but
A good biscuit's good, but
brisket, oh, I can always
it's worth
go
the
for
risk.
It's so worth it. Yeah. Yeah, we risked it for the brisket. And I moved to Washington for about 7 months, and Chris lived in Nashville. So we were 2 time zones apart. Our schedules weren't great for long distance.
Yeah.
And
It's hard juggling time zones.
yeah. And I lived out in the country with my parents, and their reception was horrible. So even like FaceTimes were not great. So it was rough. You think, oh, just FaceTime each other, no big deal. We didn't get a lot.
How was your day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember do you remember that time we tried to watch a movie together? We were like, let's watch a movie together. We'll push play at the same time. And we were on FaceTime.
Yeah.
So we could see each other and then see the movie. So we weren't like looking at each other, but we were like next to each other. And then my internet was so bad
Kept having to pause
that it
for
would
you
stop.
to catch up.
And then he would have to pause, and then it was just constant like back and
Wait,
forth.
don't hit
but-
play. Okay, wait. Now play.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like we made it work.
She wrote lots of letters.
I know. That
I
was,
think I might have written 2.
I think so.
I was not great on that aspect.
You're a great receiver, though.
Yes, I loved receiving the letters and reading them, and I was just not great action steps on that. I forgot. Every day I was like, shoot, I need to write her a letter. I got to write her a letter still. I haven't written her back yet. And then it would be like, oh, I got another letter in the mail. I'm like, crap. Well, now I feel bad. Now I'm 3 letters behind. Like, no, I definitely got to write something.
3 deep. Yeah, we were blessed in the sense that my work brought me back to Nashville a lot, which I wasn't expecting. And Chris did a lot of Spirit flights with the one backpack.
R.I.P. Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, so sad, Spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me started about that.
Yeah, we
but-
were long distance for the 7 months, but we did get to see each other, I think, at least once a month. Thankfully, between me getting like a weekend where I could get away or something, or a holiday, and then you coming here for work. So that made it nice to not
Yeah.
have to have an extended. We had lots of countdowns.
Oh my gosh,
I'll
I
see you in
forgot about
27
those.
days in 14 hours.
We had an app. Do you remember? I don't forget, it was called
Yeah.
like Countdown or something. We had different apps, but basically it was always like, this many days until I see Chris, this many days till I fly to Nashville, this many days. Happy face / sad, constant. I feel like we texted a lot of 21 days, 10 days, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was really great, but I also feel like there were elements of it that felt, I don't even want to say over romanticized, but it definitely felt like we saw each other on vacation a lot. Where it was like, oh, he has time off work, so he's out here, so he doesn't have to work at all. Maybe I was working, or I would be out doing some work stuff, but it was just a lot of, when you travel back and forth to see each other, you're not doing like everyday normal life together.
I feel like I always thought that long distance gets very serious very fast because you don't get the, hey, I'm off early on Thursday. Do you want to go grab dinner and then maybe go see a movie or something? This thing just came out. It's, hey, okay, these days I can fly across the country to come spend a weekend with you and your family, and we can do this, this, and this while we're there. Like the vacation thing, it feels like a big thing that you have to plan and put all this time and effort into and stuff. So it feels like you don't, it's almost like you miss out on those mundane things, which are fun, of just, hey, actually, I don't have to go in. I get to go in late tomorrow. Do you want to grab coffee before work or something?
Yeah.
The small little,
Well, I think their character building to
Initial-
the relationship too. You build on like normalcy versus the highs of life, which is traveling and stuff. But
and we got to have those eventually.
yeah,
Once it was no longer long
Yeah.
distance, then it was like, cool, we could just go see a movie today, or we
Yeah.
could stay at home and cook dinner, or we could go mini golfing. So
Yeah, we totally got that. I remember, so we started dating June, and then the day we decided to start dating, we already put 2 dates on the calendar of, hey, you'll come out and meet my family. Like, meet the family, which is crazy because we're like, we just started dating and come meet our families because we didn't live near our families. So I was like, okay, Chris is going to come out for 4th of July.
we've had like 4 or 5 dates and
Yeah.
5 or 6 dates, and you're like, all right, you're flying out for 4th of July to meet the family. And so you don't get that when you're like in town going on
You
dates
gradually
together.
meet
It's
the
like,
family,
all
or-
right, it's been a few months now. You get to meet the family. You're coming. You might as well meet them while you're here.
Yeah. And then we had August set for, I was going to be in Vegas, so you were going to fly out and I'd meet your mom.
Yep. You were there for that work conference, and then I just figured, oh, I'll go the same weekend, and that's my hometown.
Yeah. It's like having hometown dates. If you've ever seen The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, those were our hometown dates.
Can't relate. Never seen that.
No, you've never seen it. It's not even a movie. But what was that? Okay, I'll tell from my end of the story, but I want to hear your side first. That first time when you were flying in to meet, I have a big family, a big immediate family, and a big extended family. So, and Chris, I would say, doesn't. Kind of has a smaller, like when it comes to just like your
Smaller
immediate family and your
big extended family.
like extended though. That's
Yeah.
like really far extended. Yes. Like the Teely family reunions are insane, but like I'm talking about like aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents, like it's smaller. So for you, when you were coming out thinking about meeting all my family, what was going through your head?
For one, I remember I was coming out there for 4th of July, and I think the reason, because I was going to come sooner or something, it was like different days. And the reason we picked those days was because like your dad was supposed to be home from work. And
Supposed
so
to
I
be,
was like, oh, great, cool. I get to meet
I feel
her
like
dad.
you still hold that against him.
And so I think mentally I was preparing like, all right, I've got to meet her dad. I got to put on a good first impression. I got to meet the whole family. And then he didn't end up being there on that
wasn't
trip.
able,
So
yeah.
I got to meet mom. I got to meet all the nieces and nephews. I got to meet the
Grandparents,
brothers and
maybe?
sisters. I think the grandparents might have come over for dinner. I don't know if they were there on that
Maybe.
first trip.
Okay, yeah.
But for sure, your older brother, his wife, they're
They had 4 kids at the time. Yeah.
and then, I met a lot. I think as I was meeting the nieces and nephews, in my mind, I like halfway through just gave up. I was like,
Oh, no.
there's no way I'm gonna remember all these names. I was trying really hard at first. I'm like, okay, you're Drew. Okay, that guy. And then I was like, no, you know what? Hopefully by the end of the week,
You.
they'll stick. And then I think next thing I knew, I just remember running around out in the yard picking berries with the little. Can you pull that branch down for me so I can reach those blackberries or huckleberries or
Yeah.
whatever was in season then? Yeah, it was a fun trip. We got to go a little downtown parade in
Oh, yeah.
your
in
little
Yackle.
hometown.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll tell you, my end of that story was like Chris was coming to town. I remember talking to different people and being like, it was extremely overwhelming. I feel like it was a lot because it's like I hadn't ever seriously dated before Chris. And I came home to my parents and I didn't say anything to them before because I wanted to tell them in person. And I was just like, so I met this guy. I think I want to marry him. And we're dating. And they're like, what? So maybe my delivery wasn't great. But those were all the things. Obviously, it had gotten to that point where I was like, yeah, I could see myself. I don't think I would have started dating you had I not seen a future of being able to marry you. And so those were all the things that I was thinking. But maybe I should have just gradually let that information out. But they were okay. And then he's coming to town. I love all my family. I'm starting to really like Chris. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited that he's coming. But this is also extremely nerve-wracking because I want him to meet everybody. But then I start thinking that might overwhelm him. And then different advice from different people saying, you don't want to overwhelm him. That's a lot. We're a lot. Our family's a lot. So maybe you should not. And I was like, okay, I want to be me. This is me. I'm all about meet everybody. But I had good advice to just tone it down a little bit
Maybe don't invite
and not invite
everyone to
everybody.
dinner.
And that was good. That was good advice, I feel like. So you met immediate family, some of the siblings. My
Yeah.
siblings are all over the States, and then maybe grandparents. But that was it, first round. And then we slowly built it up over time. How did we learn to trust each other during that time? Because I feel like it's an interesting time of we barely met and then we were split so fast, and so we didn't like know each other that well. We didn't know each other's character.
Yeah. I think for me, it was all of the conversations leading until you had left. We hadn't been on a ton of dates, but a few hikes, a comedy show,
I would say we had
early morning coffee,
2-hour drive to
coffee
hiking.
dates. So there's a good amount of conversations we got to have where I feel like I got to really see your character and personality and who you were and where your heart was. And so I think there was that, and basically the idea of you came across as a really trustworthy person, and you had never given me, granted there wasn't a lot of time, but you hadn't given me a reason to think otherwise. I just felt, of course I can trust this person. They seem amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked about one of the things that really stood out to me when you first went home after going back and we had fresh started dating long distance was you were like, hey, there's this friend, this guy wants to get lunch from that I grew up with. That's not going to make you uncomfortable or bother you or anything like that. And I remember it caught me off guard because I was like, why are you telling me this? I don't care if you want to get lunch with a friend. But then it sunk in. I was like, I really appreciate that you were considerate of how I would feel or what I would think. And I just remember thinking, I don't know who this person is, but I know who you are, and I have no reason not to trust you. So that's totally, I have no issues here. So
Yeah.
I think the fact that just having the chance to get to know you, and then the fact that you would do little things like that, where that kind of going out of your way to do something that you didn't need to do, that helped build even more trust, I think, with that.
Yeah. I remember maybe it was in that same conversation, you were like, oh, by the way, I have some friends coming to town from high school. It's 2 girls and they're sleeping on our couch. Is that okay? And I was like, oh, okay. So this is a two-way street. Like, you're going to tell me things that you think maybe would make me uncomfortable. And it did build trust. And I was like, oh. And it showed me your heart for hospitality, which I love because I'm the type of person that's, if friends are coming to town, I'm like, we have a blow-up mattress and we have a couch.
I think
Please.
it was like CMA Fest week,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they reached out and they were like, we've tried like every hotel and they're $400 a night.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we can like sleep on an air mattress or something? And I was living with TJ at the time, and so I was like, I guess you can use our living room and put up a blow-up mattress.
And then I think there was and a friend you were going to the rodeo with, and you're like, I'm going with this friend. It's just me and her.
It was Kaylin.
I know, I hadn't even met her. I love Kaylin, but it's so funny that like in a 360 of he's going with this girl. I'm like, I don't know this girl. But again, we had to have that moment of if you trust me, I trust you. And we didn't, if you wanted to date Kaylin, you would have dated Kaylin. You chose to date me.
I didn't know how to date Kaylin.
No, I know, but like
Nothing against Kaylin.
But I
Just
I
catching
think
strays here.
I think that's the point of trust in a relationship. It's if we didn't want to date each other, we wouldn't have dated each other. If you wanted to go date someone else, go date someone else. But that was not the case. We wanted to date each other. So I
think both of us recognizing that long distance would be a difficult thing, and it's both of us chose something difficult. Mm-hmm. And that shows how interested you were and how much you wanted to give this the best chance it could have, that you're willing to try something difficult in the hopes that it would succeed.
And it did.
Yeah.
We've been married now 200 and something days.
It's 259 or something, 58. I don't know.
We're
coming up on
almost a year. But yeah, so that was, I would say, a fun time of our lives, and not one. I don't know that I would wish long distance dating on anybody. I think it's hard. I think you make it work. Some people are like, oh, it's great because you just learn so much about each other. And I'm like, I don't know. We didn't always have a ton of time to talk, and I don't know that it was like super deep growing for us. I think we learned so much more about each other in person and getting to see each other more in just normal life. But I think if you have to and it's the person that's worth doing it for, then it's worth it. Just as fast as you can, don't be long distance.
It's it helps when you know that it's okay, it's long distance, but just until here. I
Yeah.
think initially we had no idea when I was gonna move there, you were gonna move here, or we both move somewhere else or something. So when
Yeah.
you have that undefined finish line, it's intimidating, but it's not too bad once you're like, all right, we're gonna do long distance, but I'll see you here. Or
Yeah. I feel like people kept asking me, when are you going to move to Nashville, or is he going to move? And I'm like, he's not going to move. He's in the music industry. He should be there, and his work is there. My work was flexible. But I felt like and I don't think I told him this, but like the Lord had told me early on that I would move to Nashville, but I didn't want to be like, hey, Chris, we just started dating. I'm moving to Nashville. So I think the Lord was working on my heart and working me through. Like, I had been like a free spirit, moving all over the world for 2 years, not putting down any roots anywhere. And so the thought of putting
yeah,
roots down was a little bit scary too. So I had to work on that.
traveling the world.
Yep.
That was the first thing your brother asked when I went to Washington that trip was,
Oh, yeah.
how'd you catch her? I was like, I don't know, man.
He's
I'm
a
glad.
fisher.
I'm grateful. But I don't know. I don't know. Just right place, right time, right plan from God.
I think it
Like,
was the Lord. Yeah,
it was, yeah.
definitely the Lord. He knew. I ended up moving there end of December. So we went June to December, and then we got to be in the same town. And that was a wild adventure too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it for this episode. If we want to wrap it up, maybe just for our audience, we would love to hear if there were times in your life where you were in like a waiting season. Like,
Have you ever done long distance?
have you ever done long distance?
Did it work out?
Want to
Do you
share?
regret it?
Want to share any stories with
Advice,
us?
tips for
Yeah.
those that are currently in long distance, or questions from people who are currently in long distance?
Yeah,
Anything related to that?
we'd love to answer any of that. Just want to hear from you guys too. If there's stuff that you would like us to share about, our dating season, our long distance season. We've been through a lot of seasons in the 3 years we've known each other. We've at least known each other 3 years now. Just crazy.
or just anything. If you're like,
Yeah.
how is your hair so amazing,
Oh.
Shauna? Or
Thanks.
how is your beard so beautiful? I'm like, man face.
This has been Perrine.
Party of two.
Join us next time as we dive into our engagement season.
Ooh, we're
It's
getting
gonna be a fun
engaged.
one. We got engaged.
We
once
did.
upon a time.
Tell you about what happened.
So, bye. Cheers. Episode 2.
Ding.